The other day, my colleague and we presented to a group of school children across the state of Florida. We presented on AI and VR. The reality is that these students had a lot of knowledge. And when I asked them about ChatGPT, they were questioning its ethical implications. But my talk today is not really about AI, it's about the future of schools. It's about the future of teachers. And I would like to highlight how AI and VR will somewhat dominate the educational landscape. And I want us to really reflect on some of these changes that are happening and will happen in the future. First of all, the teachers of tomorrow will be somewhat AI. Yes, AI teachers will be guiding students through the lessons. And I say AI because there's still a role for the physical teacher. Virtual reality in the classroom space will be such that students will attend these classes online. Of course, they will put on these headsets or be in these virtual spaces that will allow them to entertain themselves as they learn and play. School will become more like playing a video game. And with AI creating that engaging and interactive experience, students will earn points, unlock achievements, and take their learning to another level, keeping them, of course, motivated. Of course, students will need to be able to connect globally with their peers, and learning will not take place just in the United States in that space, but across the world. So you might have a virtual zone that will allow students to collaborate with people from England, Jamaica, and so many other places. This will, of course, encourage cultural exchange. Yes, skill-based learning will be a part of it. And AI will assess students' learning, their strengths, of course, and their weaknesses. And as I said before, it will allow them to tailor their learning needs. Personalized approach for learning for young students would be extremely good and target the skills needed, as I said before. When we look at real-world simulations, virtual reality will allow students to simulate real-life experiences and practice new skills in these environments. Of course, this will reduce their level of stress and risk-taking. Virtual trips. I love going on trips, but I remember as a classroom teacher, I had to do so many things as it relates to planning, checking, making sure things are okay. No, I'm not saying that there's no need for a physical trip, but you can take 2 or 3 physical trips and allow cost saving to take place by having virtual trips. Imagine putting on a headset and going to Italy on a tour. There's going to be a togetherness, a seamless approach as they navigate from one space to another. And that is going to be the power of virtual reality. Of course, within that frame, we need to understand that AI, artificial intelligence, will be working. Now, when we look at all of this, how is this going to happen? We have to understand that there's going to be a need for programmers and coders to develop AI applications. Students will need to understand a certain level of coding to engage too. So the student coming up will have an idea of coding. Of course, we're going to have individuals who are going to analyze the data to ensure that students are able to get the maximum out of these experiences. So there's going to be a need for different skill sets. Of course, there will be collaboration and communication, and people will work together from various diverse backgrounds to ensure that students are able to engage. And of course, there's going to be a need for critical thinking. With emerging technologies, students will need to develop critical thinking skills and problem solving. And of course, the physical teacher is going to take on a new role, which we will discuss later. There's going to be a need for so many things, so you should not feel as if you are going to be left out. But what is the role of the physical teacher? Yes, it will change. It will change to more of a facilitator and mentor. The physical teacher's role will evolve into a more facilitator and mentorship role, giving students the support they need as they journey along the pathway of life. They will focus on helping students develop critical thinking. Teachers will work along AI to ensure that each student receives a tailored education. They will analyze the data by AI systems and make decisions from a humanistic approach to ensure that that student is included. And of course, emotional support. AI can do so much, but cannot develop that emotional presence necessary. And with the physical teacher, the role would change to a more emotional support that often seems lacking at times. The human teacher will play a critical role in providing emotional support and fostering a positive learning environment. They will help students build confidence, resilience, and empathy, which is needed in our society. Then, let's look at it. We are going to need people to do professional development as it relates to AI and VR, because these two elements consistently change. Therefore, teachers will need to engage in continuous professional development, and of course, you will require individuals to have these skill set to train teachers. Teachers will also need to learn about new tools, techniques, pedagogies to stay relevant in the classroom. And of course, collaboration and networking. Teachers will work closely with their colleagues, both locally and globally. They're going to share the best practices possible, and new ideas and pedagogical practices will emerge. And of course, will help the education system and landscape serve their students better. Let me end by saying the physical teacher's role will change, but within this change, it's going to change to enhance the learning outcomes of students. Physical teachers will be facilitators, mentors, and of course, the ethical voice behind these AI systems. Because within these systems, we must have human checks and balances to ensure that AI does not become a system that's oppressive, a system that reproduces discriminatory algorithms and oppress various elements within these learning spaces. So my thought is, let's embrace the change. That's all for now.